fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
You disgust me.
Who gives a shit?
Go on.
I made it the fuck up. I did. I did. I did. I did. I did. It's glorious. And I run.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. Here we are with our second show. Tuesday nights, anyway. Hi, Ironcaster.
Hello.
Kind of bewildered.
Oh,
Nice
sorry. Just
nice and shiny. Did you?
just got out of the shower like 5-10 minutes ago, so I'm still kind of.
And we are joined by Shinatsky today.
Hey, I'm a bucket of joy and happiness. If you can't tell.
Oh man, come on now.
Look, I get it. You're on a stream with me, and it's okay. You'll get through it. It's not that bad.
Yeah, could be worse.
You could be on a
Not
stream
sure
with me. Wait,
Yeah. Oh no.
I could be on table topless. That would be embarrassing.
That would not be embarrassing. That would be awesome. Are you kidding me? All right. Well.
shirt off.
No, please. I'll pay you to keep it on.
I don't like to show who I actually am, so I'm just like, yeah, I'm totally taking my clothes off. You'll have to trust me. Yep,
Yeah,
totally
just yeah. I'm actually broadcasting naked, but I'm not gonna show it on screen.
Well, you see the problem. The problem is my dick's too big to like fit on camera, so like I can't.
Oh. Excuse me, but
This motherfucker eating beef! Wait, no, it's not true, it's not true.
Yep.
I barely remember that game. It was a prototype, right?
Yes, it was. It was prototype.
I was
I
not
mean-
eating beans.
You was not eating beans?
No.
Okay, well,
Wait,
Come with me, monkey lad.
Yeah. So
you knew I was going to hit you with that, right? You do it.
Yeah.
50-50.
Prototype was a fun concept marred with the problem that, wait a second, our main character is basically a serial killer.
Well, not only that, but he was just so awesome. I mean, he could do anything, and like it was fun. So naturally, they couldn't allow that to happen. So they made the second one, and it just sucked.
Well, it still ended better than Infamous. Any game series when it wants to die, starring Troy Baker.
Yeah. Oh well. Those halcyon days of games that were almost halfway kind of fun. As compared to now, where we have Baldur's Gate 3.
Well, that's not bad actually.
No, it's great.
Baldur's Gate 3 is extremely well done. I've had a lot of fun with it. I've soloed Tactician with the Rogue.
I did get Starfield, and I am embarrassed to say that I have yet to play it.
I messed around with it. I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic with Payday 3.
Yeah, Payday 3 I think is going to be fun. Honestly, I don't know why I bought Starfield because I'm not that excited about it. I just kind of bought it because it's a Bethesda game. It'll be fun. It'll have a lot of mods. It'll be good. But
Well, yeah, you'll have like Orion Slave Girl sex mods.
Oh,
So
I'm
you'll
sure.
get that.
I'm sure, but I mean, I'm not even all that hyped about it. It's not necessarily a setting I'm all that excited about. It's not a concept I'm really that interested in. I'm much more excited and invested in Phantom Liberty when it comes out at the end of the month.
Well, I mean, the thing with the new Bethesda game is the fun's going to really kick in once people had a chance to really get in and tinker with it under the hood and start get the mod packs put out. So it's not worth even getting like at its launch, even if some people are having fun with it, sure. But people are really waiting for just the mod stuff. I mean, the fact is, whenever it trends, or whenever the game was trending, mods were also trending. People were talking about Skyrim and the way the mods were there. It's like they weren't talking about the game itself. They were talking about when the dedicated fans get in and get to like put in Boba Fett armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will say this positive: it's the least buggy Bethesda launch, as far as I'm aware of, in like the last 30 years.
And
Whenever
as I understand it seems like they had kind of ported out, or they had basically ported out a bunch of the game to like a bunch of other studios as well because of all the, I think, the Microsoft connections. So there's like, I think I heard somewhere like 20 plus studios that are all working on the game.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, now that Microsoft has pretty much bought every other single game studio, I mean, they can afford to do that. I mean,
it's good. It's called That's How We Get Our Cookie Cutter Industry. The reason Baldur's Gate 3 has an actual personality is it's literally one studio doing the whole thing for years on end that gives a shit about it.
By the way, how funny is it though that like they moved the release date up of Baldur's Gate to avoid Starfield, only for now apparently Starfield to be compared to Baldur's Gate, and now like Baldur's Gate is a thing that it's like kind of holding down Starfield. Like, well, this is a fun RPG, but it's not as fun as Baldur's Gate.
Well, Baldur's Gate also has one thing going for it over Starfield. You can steal the entire game multiplayer with your friends, and it works and functions the exact same fucking way.
Well, you know, the last time they tried to make a multiplayer game, we of course got 76.
Getting 76 should be like a term for like when you just get boondoggled.
well,
You got 76 from this one?
it's gotten better since launch. So, you know, there's that. I mean, yes, upon launch, it was pretty lackluster. And
It's okay. My whole thing is that they still expect you to like rent servers and was it like the cash shop? That's one of the more egregious things in there.
yeah, I mean, they limit you on how much crap you can actually build, even in your own private server, which is bullshit. Because I'm just like, I'm paying for this private server. I'm the only one in it, or whoever I invite to it is the only ones in it, and I'm still limited to the amount of stuff I could put on my base.
But T-shirt, don't you love having 16 times the detail?
I hadn't noticed it. I hadn't noticed it. I mean, I'm one of those idiots who actually does still subscribe to Fallout 76. So there is that. But
T-shirt, that's like, perfectly good money you could be putting towards more RPG books.
I know. And speaking of that, I got some today.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got some. I don't know if we want to show them off this early or not, or you want to wait till closer to the end of the stream.
I mean, it's a bullshit stream, so however you feel like, man.
Well, it is still a Week in Geek stream. So it's not 100% bullshit. But oh my god, look at we got people. We've got Macahuitl fan 84.
Yeah, it finally noticed me.
Yeah. Sorry, and then we got Iries. We've got Greg.
So we just finished our stream, and now we're here.
All right. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. And look, we even have Snow Dub showing up in the chat.
I felt like drunkenly rambling some more. So.
Oh, sweet. Oh.
Go ahead, skin it. Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
I dropped that one for Snow.
What is breast?
You know, I finally just watched that movie this past week.
You've never seen it before?
No, I saw it yesterday.
What'd you think?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. There was another Tombstone that came out at around the same time with Kevin Costner, and that one's like boring as hell.
That's Wyatt Earp.
Yeah.
No,
that one's okay. It's not bad at all.
No,
I like
knows in cinema history.
Well, interestingly enough, though, there was the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
Mm-hmm.
That ended up actually being a really, really, really good movie. I mean, I was surprised at how good it was. Plus, I think they portrayed Jesse James kind of like how he really was, because he was a little bit psychotic.
Yeah, that was
seems
an
like
excellent movie.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of these gunslingers were kind of psychotic, at least the way they portray them in the films, because, Billy the Kid and Youngbloods, definitely.
There's not that many good modern westerns. The one with Mads Mikkelsen, I can't remember the name, but it came out like 10 years ago at this point. That one was really good.
Yeah, I have that one. Oh, I've got it. I want to say it's Unforgiven, but
no, that's older.
I know that's a Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, but
it's similar. Yeah,
I kind of like Young Guns. That's a good one.
For Salvation,
yeah. Now, speaking of Mads Mikkelsen, you guys heard about what happened with him?
No.
This? Well, oh, sorry. I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh no, I think I know. Yeah, where you went off on the guy.
Yeah. So, and this goes along with our topic tonight. Okay, so we're talking about outrage farmers. Obviously, Daniel Kwan is the first one that comes to mind, but yeah, we've got like Mads Mikkelsen and a director who are talking about a film that is supposed to be set in Denmark, like in the I don't think less like what, the 1700s?
Yeah,
1700s Denmark. And some reporter comes out and asks them, it's like, we noticed that there's a kind of a lot of there's not any diversity in this film. And it's just, I mean, I'm just like, are you fucking dumb?
Yeah, and
yeah, I mean,
yeah. Well, that was 1700s.
Yeah, it's like 1700s Denmark. I mean, like how many dark-skinned people would you say lived in Denmark in the 1700s? I'm just kind of curious.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like the claim is that there were actually tons, but we kind of like swept it under the rug because we're racist.
What? It's that everything has to be the dynamics of power, and more importantly, the dynamics of white people always oppressors, black people always victims. It never went the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, always keep me down.
Guy fucking up the Greeks and Spartans.
And yet we have a friend who is a Hispanic creator trying to Kickstarter his new game, which is set in the ancient Aztec Empire. And people are actually coming out and attacking him, saying things about maybe, he's just the wrong shade of brown, or he's, or questioning his ethnicity in his capability to be able to write material like this. And it really pisses me off.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst scenario would be, imagine if he wasn't Hispanic, he would have been completely canceled and his career would have been destroyed. It doesn't matter if he spent 3 years reading all the books, like did a ton of research. No, none of that matters. Apparently, if you're born a certain ethnicity, you just appear out of the womb and have a sudden knowledge about your history.
It's like it's genetic memory. It's like an Assassin's Creed where you just can like download your ancestors' memory.
I just got this today.
Ooh.
This completes my Kevin Crawford collection. It is the last book that Kevin Crawford has made that I did not already own.
Looks problematic to me.
Yes, I'm sure it is, because I actually have never seen Kevin Crawford, never heard him, so I don't know if the man is ethnically white or not. I kind of assume he is, but a white man wrote this book about ancient Africa, and using actual African names, African concepts, all these other things.
To be fair, he probably avoided controversy because you are the only person to own that book.
I probably am. But this was written back in 2013.
Yeah, and looks
and
cool.
Nobody has said shit about him or this.
Yeah.
Well, I'm planning a Dutch themed fantasy setting, and I'm Dutch. I was born here almost 40 years ago. I'm still gonna have to do a lot of research on history of the Netherlands and Belgium and stuff like that in the 1600s and stuff like that. It doesn't come automatically to me. I'm sure there's some 70-year-old Japanese man who has studied Dutch history for 40 years and he knows 10,000 times much than me, or much more than me. They've got a fucking theme park that's the Netherlands. So yeah. But I'm not gonna get offended by that. I would be oh, that's awesome. Some weird old Japanese guy knows all this Dutch history and is really passionate about it, and he's writing books about it. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, Mexicans don't get offended by it. I've seen many people online who are the Speedy Gonzalez controversy. The Mexican posters were getting just laughing. They thought it was just the dumbest shit because to them they think that's a funny character. They don't
same with the Sombrero Mario.
It's a funny character.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was that Sombrero Mario thing some years ago. Remember that? They had it was Mario Party, wasn't it? And they had Mario with a little sombrero and a poncho and little macarenas or whatever. And all these people were saying that it should be removed. And then actual Latino people were no, we love this. Shut up.
It's a roundabout form of racism.
Is it?
That's really what it is. It's that our ignorance is what matters, not what the actual historical fact is. We are offended. We didn't do the research, but we're offended, and that's all that matters.
Oh, well, if that's offensive, then this ought to really be offensive right here.
I heard you want to be a frito bandido like me. You do? Then you must sing the bandido song. Let's sing together. You just follow the bouncing Fritos corn chips bag.
This just sounds like you voiced the character. I can't hear any difference.
I like Fritos corn chips. I love them, I do. I want Fritos corn chips. I'll get them from you. Oh, I am the Frito Bandito. Give me Fritos corn chips and I'll be your friend. The Frito Bandido, you must not offend. Now, boys and girls, you are Frito Bandidos too. You sing the Frito Bandido song and you loco for crunchy Fritos corn chips. That's nice. Munch, munch, munchy bunchy Fritos corn chips.
And yes, that was voiced by Mel Blanc, the guy behind Bugs Bunny. So
he's look, any character I could have that could be voiced by Mel Blanc would be amazing.
It would.
And
it would.
By the way, the Mexicans actually had to pressure Warner Brothers to bring Speedy Gonzalez back because Warner Brothers thought, oh, this was an offensive caricature. It's no, they fucking loved him.
Yeah, mm-hmm. We do.
There was a Mexican restaurant in town here that had Speedy Gonzalez as the mascot.
Yeah, see, I like that.
The funny thing is that the same people that say that Speedy Gonzalez is an offensive stereotype, they wrote The Radiant Citadel, and then there's that NPC in there that just looks like a stereotypical 1950s Mexican chicken farmer with a bowl cut and back teeth.
I think I still have that. Give me a moment.
And that's supposedly yeah.
with Speedy Gonzalez though, I'm surprised like they didn't take more offense over like his cousin. I think it's like Slowpoke
Rodriguez. He carries a gun.
See, what I don't understand is they should know a lot more about Latino and Latina culture, given that most of the people that clean their houses and do their cooking are of that background.
Ouch.
I mean, plus, it's the same sort of people who think that a culture is only the food.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah, the basic expert.
Has anyone ever heard Vic try and pull off a Southern American accent?
Ay caramba!
Southern American.
It's Southern American. Well, I mean, Mexico is and South America is America, so
do it, Victor. Do it, Victor.
Fuck. No, I'm being put on the spot now.
You gotta sound a lot like me. Like me, you know, you gotta have that Southern drawl, kind of like that.
Hey, y'all, let's go do some cousin fucking. I don't know.
Well, okay,
boy.
that's.
I say boy.
Hey, boy.
Boy, I say boy.
I've tried to impersonate Victor before, but it just sounds like budget Schwarzenegger.
I could do an exaggerated Dutch accent.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's funny when you do that.
I say, boy, you gotta get it better at damn zero Southern accent.
Victor. I want you to try to do a Midwestern accent.
Oh fuck! I wouldn't even know where to start. I don't know, dude.
I have a Midwestern accent.
Oh, it's okay there. It's really not a really hard accent to do, you know.
Over here in Greenwood.
You know what? We're gonna go over to the Radisson and have some hash.
Oh yeah.
How about that true coat,
here, darling?
I can just do fucking Fargo references.
My name is Jerry Lundergaard.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna go up to Lake Winnetonka, and we're gonna go get the ice fishing out.
Oh yeah.
Some people call it the Kaiser blade. I call it the sling blade.
Apparently I have an Illinois accent, but I've never met anyone who's from Illinois, so I don't know if that's true.
What? I mean, actually, you want some of the best accents ever? I mean, just King of the Hill.
Oh God, yeah.
King of the Hill is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of the adventures in Radiant Citadel revolve around food. Yeah, I mean, seriously, because it's like apparently that's the only part of culture that we understand about other people is like Thai people, amazing culture, ancient people. I want to have the Penang curry.
Yeah,
it's because they hired these people who had written cooking books and had never done any RPG work at all in their lives. So that's all they knew. That's all they knew how to do.
Well, they also didn't hire actual people that are like currently from that culture. It's always like some third generation like person from like Portlandia, and maybe they remember like their grandma from like the hills of Cambodia that made them some awesome noodles back when they were a kid, and that's what they remember. That's what they associate with the culture. So that's what the culture is. But
working with people from LA, it's pretty much you just have to absorb the fact that they're full of bullshit.
Well, I wanted to bring something up about outrage farming.
Sure, this is the stream to do it on.
So, we've been talking about a lot about the outrage farmers on the left, but the ones that actually annoy me even more are not on the left or right. It's those, I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of these YouTube channels that are like their whole purpose for being is to just pick on pick one thing to like focus on, like the angry video game nerd. Like there's this one channel that's like, this is the latest angry video game nerd drama. Here's why everyone hates the angry video game nerd. And like they have like these clickbaity titles, and like they just like have like a 40-minute video about like James Rolfe or Cinemassacre or whatever, and it's like that's all that their channel is, and they have like 20 of these fucking videos. Like, I hate that shit.
And they have 600,000 followers.
Yeah, and then it's like they're just talking about this bullshit, and it's like, why do you care? Like, what the? Why are you focusing on like this guy? Like, I don't know what the drama is. I don't care, but it's like, why? Like, here's the drama about this YouTube personality, like Spoonie. Or here's the latest drama about JonTron. It's like, dude, Fucking stop trying to farm for outrage. Like,
I mean, it's like you could make hours and hours of videos on DSP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hate that shit. It's just so annoying to me when it pops up in my feed and like someone who has no business bashing whatever is just like, come on, dude. Like, get a life. Like, how much time did you spend editing that video?
I really try not to bash other YouTubers.
Yeah.
It's high school. All this shit is just high school all over again, only it's on the internet. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Well, here's the long Reddit drama about the nostalgia critic and whatever. And it's like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Well, yeah, but at least they're doing it about people that matter, that have like millions of followers that everyone knows. There's also people that make like 40-minute videos about like somebody like me. They're just like,
that's where I was going. It's like, these people, like, they want to like try and piggyback off the popularity of the bigger outrage farmers, like, you know, the one Magic the Gathering guy, the quartering, and stuff like that. Yeah. So they think they want to be the quartering, but they're not big enough to tackle the angry video game nerd. So they're gonna go after the fucking basic expert or somebody or Victor. And it's like, fuck off, dude. Like, get the fuck out.
This is like a 40-minute video out of nowhere about just bitching about me. I'm like, what did I do?
I had to finally unsubscribe from the quartering. I just got sick of like how painful like the clickbait thumbnails were. Like, I get it. That's like, you want to get people to click, but it was getting to be so just.
Oh, it's bad. If you're gonna do it, if you go ahead.
The other thing is, like, I have enough other YouTube channels that by the time he covers this stuff, I already saw a video on it like 3 or 4 hours ago from like, I don't know, Midnight's Edge or maybe someone here.
The problem is the incentive structure of YouTube creates creators that will end up like that because it's what gets rewarded and it's what gets you any kind of living. If you have any actual integrity or do your research, you're not liked as well as someone who put a clickbait article up ASAP.
Oh, don't forget this face on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
It's the game they set out. I'm not gonna fault people for following the rules, even though the rules are fucking stupid.
Yeah, I guess don't hate the player, hate the game, but yeah.
T-shirt is about to reference the Shadowversity drama.
Yeah,
I guarantee in the next couple of days, if I search for this shit on YouTube, there's going to be 3 or 4 like outrage farming people like talking about this. It's just so tiresome.
Yeah, from either side.
Well, okay, I mean, me personally is like I'm not a huge fan of Shadowversity. I used to watch his videos initially, but the more I watched, the more I was kind of turned off by his presentations. I mean, maybe it was the speed at which he was speaking, or maybe it's just that his videos seem to really do a lot of stream of consciousness in such a way, but he delivers too fast. So I couldn't really pick up on his information. I mean, yeah, the guy clearly knows a lot of his stuff, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, dude, I mean, it's just, can you like, hit the slow button just a little bit there?
The problem that kind of happens is that if you get a successful niche, you can eventually just run out of material to go over. I mean, ancient swords are awesome and there's a lot of them, but eventually you're going to have covered them all after like a couple of years. You can only talk about fantasy stuff when a new fantasy thing comes out.
You get to be known as like the stick guy now.
Yeah,
guy.
This is stick.
That guy with the stick.
Good. Yeah. But for people who didn't know, Shad Brooks apparently got excommunicated by Matt Easton, who was a Scala Gladiator, and apparently it was kind of like a guilt by association sort of deal where people who followed Scala Gladiatoria didn't like Shad for, I don't know, his politics or whatever.
Yeah.
And so this guy, Matt Easton, he just basically said, I'm going to divorce myself from you, block you, etc., etc. And I'm just, this whole guilt by association crap is just kind of like, this is the same kind of stuff that we always talk about. Is, people turning off avenues of discussion and weaponizing the associations.
Yeah.
Once again, it's what the formats and the YouTube algorithm, whatever the hell you want to call it, it's what is rewarded.
And that's sort of the unfortunate thing ultimately of the algorithms, that people, it's all just the outrage clicks work. People want to be mad at things, so it's designed in a way that like all engagements is gonna be good for generating traffic, so we can put ads on it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not gonna lie. There's maybe a couple of the outrage farmer type of people that I enjoy. But if you're gonna do it, you got to do it right. You can't make an hour-long video where you're just rambling about some celebrity that you're just trying to bash.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it has to be topical, fast, with hard-hitting, jokes and facts. I like Razor Fist.
Yeah.
Razor Fist falls into this category. He is an outrage farmer. That's what he does. Yeah. But he does it so he's a very talented guy. And he's very fast and hard-hitting, and he makes funny jokes, and like it works. It works. He's not just a neckbeard from Reddit or whatever complaining for an hour about somebody, and and you have like 20 videos of that. Like, that's not what he does. So it can work. I just think that it's very rare to get it to like be functional.
Well, Razor Fist was so successful that Movie Bob tried to make a caricature of him and failed.
Because Movie Bob,
his little takedown of Movie Bob is legendary.
Yeah,
and at least with a guy like with Razor, he's willing to be kind of tactile. I guess the word tactile. Where he's gonna let a little bit of time set, let some spit a little bit of space happen after the event, just to collect information. So he's not going to be like, shooting from the hip without having done his research.
Yeah, he's not a tourist either. Like, if he ever decided to make a video about RPG World, like, he's not a bullshitting, because the guy's been playing RPGs since like the early 90s. Like, he's got old BattleTech shit on his wall in the background, and a lot of these guys are just tourists who are latching onto a trend, and they're not actually part of any kind of culture or subculture. They just want to get views, and that's the outrage farming. I really like it. It brings my piss to a boil.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a 3-hour Razor Fist video, just ask him about Elric.
Yeah, that's for sure. But
and The Witcher.
Bringing it back around to games, I got into talks with Latino Slant, Pauly, about John's situation with people attacking him for his race and his right to be able to write about, the Aztec people, his own race, my own race. And one of the things I mentioned to Pauly, I said, Pauly has had a lot of big Latino stars on his show. He's had Danny Trejo. He's had Edward James Olmos. He's had the entire cast, almost all the entire cast, and the director of Blood In, Blood Out on his channel.
Vatos
interviewed.
Locos?
Yeah, Vatos Locos forever. But but here's the deal, man. It's like I told Pauly. I said, can you imagine them trying to do Blood In, Blood Out now? Because Taylor Hackford is like, like the heart of whiteness, man. He is. It's like he's not Latino at all. They would be shitting up and down on, Brick City, saying, "You don't have the right to make this kind of a movie. You're white."
Well, wasn't that white dude that was part of the gang? That was like based on like an actual real story. That was like an actual real dude. He was like, one of the original like. I can't remember the actual names, but.
Miklo Velka. I don't think Blood In, Blood Out was necessarily based on anything factual. That was American Me.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of that was the one where there was an actual white gang member, right? Yeah, that was American Me.
Yeah, that was American Me. And Edward James almost kind of had some threats from that.
No,
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
American Me is one of the few movies in the history of film where legitimately people got killed because of the.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No, those movies are very similar, and they're both from like the 90s, 80s, or whatever. So they kind of like mixed together in my head. I haven't seen them in years either. So yeah.
Well, no, it's like you can listen to Danny Trejo talking about, which is one of the reasons why him and Edward James Olmos are not on good terms. Because he's literally going, it's like you depicted the leader of the Mexican mob getting raped in prison.
Wasn't that the one with the shank in the ass?
No.
Guys, come on, man! Don't get my stream canceled for saying the R word.
Oh dang! I keep forgetting how mmany words we can't say anymore.
But
I know.
I didn't even hear it.
Yeah, don't you realize we have freedom of speech? Just so long as we don't say, ape, or
okay.
or reference the obscure disease from China, or certain other things. We can't show
pesky mid-century Germans.
Yeah. We can't talk about those 1940s Germans. We cannot smoke on the air. We cannot drink on the air. We cannot show riflery on the air.
We can drink on the air. Fuck. Well, this stream's being taken down.
Yeah.
Well, I'll add on to the fire with this because I don't give too much of a crap about it. That there's two historical characters I'm really interested in, like writing up an epic. Maybe if I had like a bunch of money, I would want to do their story. The first one is Ching She, who, Ching's wife, i.e., the most successful pirate in history. She terrorized the South China Sea for a good decade, and then was actually able to convince the Chinese government to let her and all her pirates retire, because basically foreigners were going to come in, and she knew it, and so she cut a deal, and then actually still had a mini fleet and ran a gambling / brothel house afterwards. Really interesting character. Really brutal, terrible human being. Really interesting character. The second one is Cortez, because to me, that's like almost, that entire thing is almost like an action movie intermixed with a historical epic.
Yeah, that is actually, and it has some really interesting history in it, both pre and post Aztec Empire dominance.
Well, you had the
Cortez
majority oppressing the minority in the actual Aztec kingdoms, because there was like I forget how many different major tribes. There was was it Telecon? I'm trying to remember the exact details of it, but there was the surrounding groups which were all being oppressed by the capital city, as it were. They were all under them. And Cortez comes along, and they start joining him because, hey, this guy actually wants to do stuff, and he's apparently winning. So it's not a black and white story. It's not a there's no morally good people in the story necessarily per se. They're all kind of bastards, but one was a group of bastards that literally ate people and presented bodies as look, this is how we sacrifice people, versus a guy who is in essence a greedy asshole.
Those are both my ancestors,
Yeah. Also by Makuhitl.
Yeah, by Makuhitl.
It's pretty much about that. Yeah, sort of. It's said before the Spanish conquest, but yes, it's about that.
No, but in the thing is, the actual ending for that story is because he did all this shit to impress court over in Europe, and they didn't give a shit about him. That's how I would end the entire thing, is that he would be in the courts in Europe trying to look impressive, and he does all this shit, conquers this nation, everything else, to try to impress the court, and when he comes back, no one gives a shit about him. He has a fancier title, but he's still a mutt according to these people.
Well, they don't know. They weren't there. They just heard some stories, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. Anyway.
Well, actually, also Cortez, from his letters and things like that, he probably felt pretty bad about what happened overall, because he provided for the remains of the Aztec royalty to a place to live, and kind of a comfortable place for them to live. I think it was like a villa or something. It's been a while since I read that in my history class, but yeah, I think in essence he was pretty sad about what had happened and what he had done, and that was kind of his way of making amends, was to make sure that the Aztec bloodline just kind of lived a little bit longer by putting the royalty somewhere kind of safe.
Yeah, he did all of this, and even though he managed to write his name into history and accomplish, like literally brought down an empire, it didn't bring him happiness. That to me is an interesting character dynamic.
Well, of course not. I mean, how much joy could you have in tearing down a civilization? I mean, and maybe that's what these outrage farmers and drama harvesters will eventually figure out at some point, is like after they finish destroying Hollywood. I mean, they've already destroyed comic books. If they finish destroying Hollywood and they destroy video games and they destroy TTRPGs and everything else that everybody enjoys, and they look and they see the quality of shit that's left behind, the wasteland that is left behind afterwards, they will look back and they will go, I think we kind of fucked up.
I would feel like with that wasteland was.
No, it's oftentimes what happens is these cultural locusts will move from one thing to the next without ever looking back.
Mm-hmm. That's also probably true.
Like
they just move on.
Star Wars.
Could you say that again, Ironcaster? Because you're
none of them are ever going to look back and say, well, Star Wars is better now that we've changed it to make it about Rey, and we got rid of all that pesky EU, and none of that needs to be around anymore. None of them are going to look at Star Trek like it's anything of value. It's like, well, we did nothing wrong at all. Like, this was always terrible.
Mm-hmm.
All that matters is they were able to use as a platform to get their message out. And this is, I think, the fundamental flaw that we have. They're willing to be terrible monsters, and we just kind of sit back and let them do it and then comb through the rubble.
Which sort of goes back to what we were saying about the algorithms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get rewarded for it. We get punished for trying to be nice. Like, to hell with them. They want to knock our heads. People gotta start knocking them back. It's not going to be pleasant, but if you don't defend your culture and your people, well, a Cortez comes by.
Yeah, I mean, I watch It's a Gundam every week, pretty religiously, just because I think he's funny as hell. But every week he's also complaining about, he's like, hey man, anytime I say something that's even remotely funny, even about inanimate objects, my stuff gets demonetized and then people come after me for it. And Grimm came under quite a lot of fire, despite the fact that he had a nice civil discussion with the what was his name? Yeah, Indestructible Boy, and his stuff is getting attacked. And Indestructible Boy got attacked by his own people for for platforming.
And there's sort of an unfortunate thing there where, once you get pegged into this sort of like, you're a bad person, you're always going to be this way. Your guilt, it's not even a guilt until proven innocent sort of thing. It's once guilty, always damned.
It's just a big game of telephone, and like, they never do their own research.
Everyone is under the sort of Damocles, and once it's swung down on you, you're always wrong. We have to discard you.
They have to keep you down.
Yeah, but they never do their own research. They just know, like, oh, Grim Jim, yeah, he's that guy that wrote that article with that spicy title, right? Oh, yeah, okay, well, yeah, we hate him. And, like, yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, years ago. And Victor's that guy who dared to put guns in our 5e game. How dare he?
Yeah, made it better.
10 years ago, you took a picture with this one guy. I'm sorry. You associate with people we don't agree with. You're canceled.
I almost got guild of associations because of that Indestructible Boy shit. So yeah, I had like nothing to do with the whole situation, and I just like got dragged in. I'm like, what's happening?
You get dragged into everything, though.
I know somehow.
Yeah, you got dragged into the whole 1940s Germans argument thingy about.
I mean, that is true. Well, my grandpa did anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were called that whenever you took a leave of absence from the show. Even I'm just kind of like, what?
Oh yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I even jumped up for you in the comments. I was like, he left on his own for his own reasons. It had nothing to do with my ethnicity or anything.
Yeah, no, that was some crazy shit.
That was.
But yeah,
what,
I
what
hate
hurt
to
me is
break
it was
this.
coming from our own side.
It only took Victor like a year to realize that you're Mexican.
Yeah. Well, Victor's black, so it's,
yeah,
we're a multiracial panel here.
Yeah.
Dead serious. We need to do worse, if not massively worse, to them preemptively in order to actually put a stop to this shit. Because trying to reason with this particular subset of people doesn't work.
You can't stop it.
No, they. Well, okay, I mean, given a chance, what worked about Mads Mikkelsen's argument is that he threw the same question back at the questioner, and the questioner was put on the spot because he couldn't answer it. So it's like once you reverse the logic and ask them the same question back, it's kind of like, oh, I don't have a response for this. So they've started circulating stuff that says, you don't owe these people any explanation. If they want one, just cancel them. Mm-hmm. It's a case of, I don't want you to think about why we're canceling these people. I just want you to do it and be on my side.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to start doing that shit to them because they're going to do it to us. They already are. We're being warred upon to, put a Lord of the Rings reference in. Whether you want to or not, war's upon you.
Well, to be fair,
his real name is Yanni.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, and T-shirt kind of alluded to this just like a couple minutes ago, but like all the stuff that I've dealt with so far has been from quote unquote my own side. Like it's barely been like aside from that minor Indestructible Boys stuff and like some other things, like some very minor things, it hasn't been the social justice warriors that have come after me. It has been people that are supposedly like on my side, but because I disagree with them on elf games, they just fucking think I'm the devil. And so like I don't know.
Yeah. And my point with it is that with everything going on, the way a lot of our side has playing things is to be completely defensive, which means basically holding up your arms and trying to block them punching you in the face. I hate to break it to you, but the only way we're going to actually put any kind of stop on it is to start hitting them back and hitting them back harder. That's where we're at with the culture, all this culture war crap now. I hate that we're here, but that's how I see it.
You gotta throw a couple grenades and be a little chaotic.
Yeah.
Use a naughty word or two.
Their side is willing to beat people with bike locks.
Greg?
Yes.
So you've been real quiet, man. What do you got? Get some words for us on this?
No, I'm listening, but my co-author just sent me some music to review, so I've been listening to that as well.
Oh, I'm so sorry that your music is more important than this channel.
I mean, do you blame him though?
No.
Greg is so mad because he was quickly trying to type up the tweet about how we're all canceled now.
Yeah. Actually, you've been sending us a few previews here and there, and I've actually enjoyed it. I think it's going to be a cool album when it's done.
So too.
It'll be
having a little bit of conflict with Frank because obviously he's a talented musician and I'm just a schlub. So my feedback is sometimes difficult for him to digest.
Oh,
but that's
more cowbell. He's like, what?
Yeah.
That man is playing Diablo.
I'm not playing Diablo. Diablo is out.
Nobody plays Diablo.
Yeah, Diablo is over.
Yeah, Diablo 4 is dead in the water.
Speaking of Diablo being over, did you happen to hear about this Diablo 4 event where literally nobody showed up for the audience?
That's fucking hilarious.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know about it. I haven't turned the damn thing on since I bought it, pretty much.
Yeah, they did like that massive nerf, and I'm like, yeah, fuck this, and I haven't started the game up since.
Oh wow.
Because Diablo 4, it's functional. It works. I had some fun going through it, but I didn't have like the experience I have with Baldur's Gate 3 where I'm like, wait, I can do this, I can do that. They overtune, overbalance things because they want to sell the cosmetic shit or whatnot. Meanwhile, Baldur's Gate is like, how can I use barrels to blow shit up? Or, grow an owl bear and then jump on top of an iron golem and crush them.
Oh, did you see that? The elbow drop iron bear?
That's
the top rope.
Yeah, owl bear from the top rope.
Real quick, just to kind of pull, just since I pulled this up real quick, just to give a little context. Let's see, on September 9th, Activision Blizzard developer hosted an in-person competitive event in South Korea in collaboration with the local esports channel 10. As shown on the live stream, however, people didn't exactly show up. The show two teams facing off in front of empty seats. The show was shared on their official YouTube and Twitch channels, but the audience didn't surpass 300 viewers.
Wow.
Diablo is dead.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anyone talk about it.
They fucked up really, really badly. I was playing Diablo, you guys know.
Yeah,
I was on stream, clickety clacketing. You guys were hearing this shit. I was doing this. I got like really high level characters and stuff, and I played the ladder, and it's like, nah, man, back to Path of Exile for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm currently doing a second playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3, so yeah.
Yeah.
So
look at what he says. It's a boring game with no items to chase. The loot sucks. No chance in hell. Like you know, it's true. Unfortunately.
Yeah. One part of me is sad because I love Diablo, but the other part of me also feels great with this. I hope this can make Blizzard realize the urgency of their game problems.
Well, Blizzard has been on like a quest to like anything that players have fun with. They're just like, nah, that's broken, and they just like kill it. And I get it to a certain degree, but they just take it way too far.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this is our vision of the game. Like, you know, it's like, screw whatever the players think is the best. Like, oh, that's our vision. Like,
but like, people play that shit to min-max, so give them the room.
Ask Volition how well that worked out for them.
Yeah.
I mean, the latest season of Path of Exile is probably the best they've ever had. Like, this shit's amazing.
See, Blizzard had a potential gold mine if they kept making really hot characters for Overwatch. That was their mistake. Because Overwatch, basically the porn was one of the things that really did, like, just show how popular that was. And it's like they deliberately made characters that were ugly as all hell because they didn't like them making porn out of them.
Well, the porn is so popular that other like other games trying to copy Overwatch, like the developers were going in creating like a forum for the porn just to try to poke the potential audience to get into it.
Okay,
Lou, you caught your butthole in your zipper? Well, dang it!
I caught my foreskin in a zipper once, but I mean that's the extent of it.
In the meantime, you could play Cyberpunk 2077. It's a single-player experience that you could turn off anytime you want to. And there's naked people walking up the street sometimes. Probably on accident, but it happens.
It also has good waifus. Panam.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to get it on with Panam?
I just am kind of disappointed there weren't exotics at all in 2077.
Okay, Maliki has an interesting one. It's like, it will be interesting to see what Gearbox does with Saints Row now that they own it. Considering what they did with the last looter shooter that they released, Borderlands 3, I don't necessarily hold that as a high bar for it getting any good.
I thought the last one they did was the Tiny Tina one, the wannabe D&D thing.
Yeah, that one's actually kind of fun. I have that one.
Fun.
That one's pretty fun.
They're looking to sell off Borderlands.
Really?
I genuinely hate the Birches, Ashley and her brother.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Oh wait, no, they may be selling off Gearbox as a whole. Embracer Group.
Yeah, well, Embracer Group needs that money because their stuff's not selling.
Sadly, Gearbox is a prime example where plagiarism pays.
Sadly. And Surly, that's kind of my whole thing too. Like I was saying early on, is like, Phantom Liberty. That's the thing I'm really excited about right now, more than anything else. You want to talk about like a damn Cinderella story? Cyberpunk is the Cinderella story, because it went from everybody just throwing it into the garbage can when on release because of all the bugs and everything, to all of a sudden it made a massive mega comeback, and everybody's all hyped up and more excited for it than they were for Starfield.
Well, CD Projekt Red have done that before. Witcher 3, when it first launched, was buggy as hell too, and now it's considered like one of the greatest games of maybe the last decade.
Yeah.
So they've got a good track record with that, and
it's No Man's Sky with tits.
Yeah.
Hey man, I appreciate the European approach to sex in games more than what we're doing currently in the West.
You're welcome.
It's like it's there, but you don't have to engage with it. Apparently the Baldur's Gate 3 characters wanting to jump your bones in the first 5 minutes was apparently a bug.
That was apparently a bug, yeah.
But still, it's the case where characters will proposition you. You don't have to go to it if you want. Options to turn it off.
I probably have let me look at my Steam stats right now. Baldur's Gate, what's Baldur's Gate 3? Come on, go away, Yakuza.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good game.
Yeah. I have 280 hours in Baldur's Gate 3. I've seen a sex scene twice. By choice.
How much of that would you say was before the game actually released?
Before was 150, something like that. So put a good amount of time in since. I finished the game with my friend, and we're currently doing another playthrough with a mod that lets us go to level 20. So
I have
by the way,
I have 393.8 hours in Cyberpunk right now.
Yeah.
I like Cyberpunk.
By the way, in Baldur's Gate 3, I found out, I haven't ever found these people, but apparently there's incestuous drow twins who try to invite
I had relations with them.
There you go.
Yeah. They're drow prostitutes, and there is a brother and a sister. And then I spent 1,000 gold to sleep with them, and then literally the next quest I did, the reward was you can sleep with them for free. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, come on, crazy! I can't romance the Mox Bouncer. Yeah, she does appear in quite a few Rule 34 pictures I've seen.
She has her name. It's Rita Wheeler.
Yeah, Rita Wheeler.
Victor's so proud of himself. Yes.
You can pretty much make her in the character creator. I think it's just her tattoos you can't do.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, it's
guys, I'm gonna have to drop. I've got stuff I've got to work on here with music.
Well, we're at an hour. This is only an hour long show.
Yep.
All of our shows are going to an hour. So that's one of the reasons why, I figured it's more fun, because it's quicker. We kind of crunch the topics a little faster and have more fun just talking about it, because Tuesday is kind of like the bullshit stream. We get serious on Saturdays, but
yeah.
Plus, it's also a chance for any big breaking story to sort of get talked about before it all gets kind of blown up over the course of the week, and then we lose all momentum Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I do actually then want to do a recommendation, since I can actually throw that out at the end.
Okay.
On Steam, it came out I think about on the 25th of July. The Ninja Saviors, The Return of the Warriors.
I've got it.
Yeah.
I have it. I enjoyed that. I'm still enjoying it. But actually, the one that kind of took its place for me was Blasphemous 2, because, any game about, Spanish Christianity.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but, Ninja Terminators, man. Fucking just great game premise.
I love Ninja Saviors. I love Blasphemous 2, but I keep trying to get people to play the Hunt Down. That's badass.
The Hunt Showdown?
No, the Hunt Down.
The Hunt Down? I never even heard of it.
Hunt Down. Look up the Hunt Down trailer. It's a cyberpunk 1980s retro wave throwback side-scrolling arcade shooter.
Hunt Down the Freeman.
Hunt Down on Steam. You gotta look at. I'm telling you, nobody knows about this game. It flew under the radar. I've mentioned it a couple of times. Maliki knows about it. This is a game that I think y'all should all play. This is a badass game.
Hunt down the Freeman?
No, hunt down.
No, don't hunt down the Freeman.
That's what it says. That's just. I mean, that's all that keeps coming up. Does it have another name?
No, it's just hunt down.
Yeah,
one word. One word, not 2 words.
Okay. Oh, Hunt Down, 1999 right now. On Steam.
2019.
Well, he's talking about the price.
Actually,
my game recommendation.
Okay.
Power Wash Simulator.
Yes.
I ain't guessing with me. Power Wash Simulator.
Should we get Back to the Future DLC?
Oh fuck yeah! I can't wait.
Wait, Marty, we gotta go back. We gotta wash that down.
Oh no. Yeah, cameos seem to be really popular in games these days. I noticed that Dying Light 2 now has a payday kind of like, it's not a DLC, it's like they do their monthly promotional thing where it's like, oh look, we're dropping some content for you. And so yeah, apparently there's like infected gangsters or something like that who stole a bunch of loot, and you have to go and steal it from them. And I don't know, I hadn't played it.
Yeah, they're doing Payday 3 right now, which could be cool because I liked Payday 2 at the beginning before it got all DLC. But
yeah, I would kind of like to play Payday 3, but I need to drag friends in for that one. So we're gonna have to get Kyle and everybody else to get to play with that. So
I already got it ordered, so I could be down for that, presuming schedules line up. One other thing I will bring up before the end: Carpenter Brut and Gunship released a song yesterday together.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Carpenter Brut and Gunship. Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing that murdered me about YouTube is the fact that is one of the things I really wanted to do was talk about music and review music, and it's just like YouTube will not let it happen. So I'm just
how do all those channels that like reacting to this song or like whatever, how do they do it?
I don't know.
They get away with it somehow. That's like
they're popular enough that they have direct lines to YouTube. That's what comes.
That makes sense.
To.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. One of our friends does that, and he blew through his 1,000 subs like in record time. So I'll have to ask Ford's board how he did it.
I liked it better when it was called America's Funniest Home Videos myself.
All right, guys. Well, I guess that's it for today or for tonight for our second show. Unless somebody's got any last minute things you want to add.
Buy Modern Necessities.
Yes, and buy Macahuitl.
Yes. Well,
reminder.
Fletchwood.
Keanu Reeves was elated when he found out people modded Cyberpunk so they could have sex with him.
I'm sure he was. Keanu just seems like a really positive dude. I mean, if you told him, hey, Keanu, we made a mod where we could shoot Johnny Silverhand over and over and over, he'd be like, well, that's cool, man. So,
but what if Johnny Silverhand is the bottom?
Well,
when's Johnny Silverhand going to fight Johnny Utah? That's what I want to know.
Johnny Silver Ass.
Johnny Silver Ass. Can't watch that movie. All right, guys. Well, we will talk to you guys on Saturday, and hope you've enjoyed the show. And if you're catching us on the replay, hey, give us a like, give us a subscribe, tell people about us, and help me grow this damn channel. Because I'm languishing.
Dag iedereen. Tot de volgende keer.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
We need an outro. I don't have one.